Sonic Superstars is shaping up to be a truly great game, but there's just something about it that, I don't know, I'm just not that hyped for it. When the game was first revealed, I was actually just really impressed by the game and actually thought it looked really great. I was actually really excited for it. Bloody, look at this! Yo! This looks flipping beautiful! But right now, for some reason, it just exists to me. I can't really say there's anything bad about the game, not at all, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm just really not that hyped for it. I don't know why. Now, just because I'm not that hyped for the game doesn't mean I think it's bad, because I know some people are going to twist my words into me saying that, but no, I think the game looks good, like I said already. It looks good. There's nothing bad about the game. I'm just really not that hyped for it. I know there are people out there who think the game looks mid or even bad, and I heavily disagree with them, but there are some people out there like me who don't think the game looks bad, but are still really just not that hyped for it, and it's kind of strange. Like, you'd think that with a game as good looking as Sonic Superstars, like everything looks solid from the level design, the music, the visuals, you can see the care put into the game, you'd think that I'd be very hyped for it, but for some reason I'm just not. When it came to Sonic Frontiers, I was extremely hyped for the game. With every single bit of news we got, I was like so pumped for the game and I was so excited to play it. But Sonic Superstars, I know the game comes out in like a couple of months, but right now, I'm really not all that fussed or really excited to really play the game. I know I'll have a good time with it because I can just tell by just looking at the game, but again, compared to say Sonic Frontiers, even Sonic Origins, and heck, even Sonic Colors Ultimate, my hype levels are really just low, like very low. There are so many points where I forget that Sonic Superstars is even a thing, like it's really weird. Now maybe it's because of Zippo. For those of you who don't know, Zippo has been talking about a modern Sonic 2D game for a couple of years now. And when I heard that, I was actually really excited for that because, you know, a 2D modern Sonic game, we haven't had that in ages, right? I mean, I know we've had Sonic 4 and some people think that's a terrible game, but me personally, I thought episode 2 was good. Episode 1 was kind of mid, but episode 2, I actually really liked the game. I had some cool mechanics and environments there. I liked it. But if we're talking about a proper 2D modern Sonic game as the likes of Sonic Rush, Sonic Advance, that would go back to 2007 with Sonic Rush Adventure. I know we got Sonic Generation 3DS and Sonic Colors DS, and while I do actually like Colors DS and not so much for Generation 3DS, those don't really count in my opinion because they're just downgraded versions of the main version of the game, Generation Colors, so I don't really count those as modern Sonic 2D games. I'm talking about a fully original idea for a modern Sonic 2D game on its own, not a downgraded version of Sonic Unleashed or Colors, Generations, or even Lost World. I'm talking Sonic Superstars, essentially what that game is, but with modern Sonic in there. That's the game that I was hyped for before Sonic Superstars got announced. And you know, maybe that kind of factors into my not so hype of Sonic Superstars anymore. With modern Sonic, it's not just about the fact that, oh, he's got longer legs and he's got green eyes and he's a darker blue. Modern Sonic is just a lot more than that when it comes to his games. If you compare Sonic Superstars to, say, Sonic Advance, there is a massive difference there. With Sonic Advance, there's a massive amount of style and pizzazz in there that Classic Sonic just doesn't have. Classic Sonic can look cool. I mean, just look at the openings for Sonic Mania and Sonic CD. That is Classic Sonic, but cool. Exactly how he should be, but obviously nowadays with the new corporate Classic Sonic model we have now, yeah, that is not cool at all. There is a bit of that cool factor in the opening cutscene for Sonic Superstars, but for the in-game stuff, yeah, that is just cutesy Classic Sonic. And I'm not saying that Classic Sonic can't be cute, but me personally, I've always seen Sonic as cool, not cute. And unfortunately, when it comes to the modern day Classic Sonic we have now, I don't see that as cool at all. It's just very cute and corporate. And if we just step away from Classic Sonic for a second here, even the world around Classic Sonic is mostly more cute than cool like modern Sonic is. When it comes to a modern Sonic game, for me it is just the vibe. Not just the fact that it's modern Sonic, right? Because we have Sonic for episode 1. That is not the modern Sonic vibe at all. That is modern Sonic placed into a Classic Sonic game. When I think of 2D modern Sonic games, I think of Sonic Advance and Sonic Rush, especially Sonic Rush. I've seen people saying that, oh, we should just leave Classic Sonic to 2D and then just leave modern Sonic in 3D, and me personally, hell to the no, because Sonic Rush, that game's vibe, atmosphere, is just something that Classic Sonic just wishes he could have. Whether it be the music, the environments, the trick system, those are all feats of modern Sonic, not something you see in a Classic Sonic game. And this is the reason why I was so hyped for a modern Sonic game over a Classic Sonic game. And this just leads into my next point about Sonic Superstars not being that hyped to me. Because a Classic Sonic game is, well, Classic Sonic, that means that you can't have things like voice acting. And obviously a lack of voice acting means there's not much of a story in there. Now we've had games like Sonic 3 and Knuckles where the story is a bit more present in there, but if you compare that, again, I hate to keep comparing things here, but to say, like the modern Sonic games, with the voice acting and whatnot, you can tell more of a story in there compared to a classic Sonic 2D game. And story is one thing where I feel that can really sell a Sonic game for me. And Sonic Forces was a prime example of this. One reason people were so hyped for Sonic Forces was because the game looked like it was going to have a serious story, because we had Eggman taking over the world, like an entire resistance going on. It looked serious, right? And I know the game didn't really live up to that, but the thought and excitement was still there. It's why people like Sonic Frontier's story so much, because it's serious, it's got stakes in there, and it's just good. A good story is a key element of what makes a Sonic game good, and that also leads to a Sonic game being very hyped for me because of a great story. And that is just missing from classic Sonic games because of a lack of voice acting, and obviously if you can't have voice acting, it's hard to really feel any sort of stakes anywhere. And from what we've seen in Sonic Superstars so far, there's not really any story in there, to be honest. It's just same old, oh, chase Eggman down, he's done something bad, but this time there's Fang, and that leads to another problem. Sonic Superstars, this isn't that hype. To me personally, it's just yet again another classic Sonic game. Like the Emerald's powers, they're cool and all, they kind of spice up the gameplay a bit, but it just doesn't innovate much in my opinion. There's not much that's going to separate it from the previous classic Sonic games. And while that can be good in a sense because it means that you'll know the game is going to be good anyways, but I really think that Sonic Superstars needed to innovate a lot more. I mean, after Sonic Mania, it showed that, yeah, classic Sonic games are good, but it is getting a bit stale now. Like, we need something fresh and brand new, like a new spin on the classic Sonic formula, and Sonic Superstars is kind of doing that with the Emerald's powers and the multiplayer in there, but it still isn't doing enough to warrant, like, me being very hyped about the game. Going back to Sonic Frontiers, a lot of hype for the game was because it was a brand new 3D Sonic game trying something new. It was open world. Oh, I'm sorry, open zone. And when I look at Sonic Frontiers and see how much they're innovating with that game, and then look at Sonic Superstars, the difference is quite large. Sonic Frontiers was a brand new take on what a modern Sonic game can be, but Sonic Superstars is just more of the same to me. Now, part of that is due to the fact that we have so many classic Sonic fan games nowadays, a lot of which are well made and actually finished now. We have so much variety in fan content nowadays that when Sega goes and drops a classic Sonic game as well, it's just kind of, alright, I mean, as a fan personally, we've seen that like a lot, but sure, you go ahead and do that too, Sega, I don't mind. And even some of these classic Sonic fan games, they're innovating a lot more than Sonic Superstars, whether it be the style of the game, the way it looks, Sonic's moveset, the level design of the game. Sonic Superstars really just feels kind of just, I don't know, that's what it feels like to me. And obviously with Sonic games, Sega are not just appealing to one audience here. They want to reel in old fans as well as new fans as well. And obviously new fans aren't going to know that these fan games actually exist. And that's fine, that is not a problem at all. But I still feel like Sega could have innovated a lot more with Sonic Superstars. I mean, it is cool that it's a 2.5D game rather than 2D. I think that's a great decision by them, really like that. But in terms of gameplay, it still is, again, just another classic Sonic game, with not enough spice in there to really make it stand out from the rest. It definitely does still stand out, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man, there's just not much variation here compared to the previous games. I mean, you look at modern Sonic games, and they're all pretty much very diverse from each other. I mean, you've got the adventure games with the way those games work with the spin dash, multiple playable characters and whatnot. Then you go from adventure to heroes, and then it completely changes because you got the team mechanics there now, and that completely changes the way the game plays. Then you go from heroes to 06, where they're basically just building on the adventure formula again. Then you go from 06 to Secret Rings, a completely different style of game there. Then Secret Rings to Black Knight, adding the sword. Then you go from Black Knight to Unleash, Colors, Generations, Forces, a new type of gameplay there with the boost. Then in the middle there you got Lost World, a bit of a mix of adventure and parkouring in there. Then you got Frontiers, an open world 3D Sonic game now. Like, there's a lot of variety in there. It just doesn't get old with 3D Sonic, but 2D Sonic, that's where my issues arise. Maybe we got Sonic 1, good start. Sonic 2, add the spin dash in there, makes some more speed-based level design, that's good. Sonic 3, longer levels, more exploration, a bit more of a story, that's cool. Then you go to Sonic Mania, it's like, okay, they refined it a bit here, that's cool. Then you go from Mania to Sonic Superstars, it's like, okay, more original zones, basically plays exactly the same though, like, it's kinda getting a bit stale now, we need to switch things up a bit here. Like, even though when Modern Sonic actually experiments, it's not always a hit, each game feels different from the previous one. There's always something there to change it up or just innovate the gameplay from the previous game, and I just really don't see that with Sonic Superstars. Again, Emerald powers, co-op, that's nice, but I need something more, man. There's just not enough in there in my opinion. And that really just is the reason why I'm not that hyped for Sonic Superstars. It just feels like just more of the same. We've seen some more footage of the game, and it just looks cool. Yeah, same high quality we've seen from the first trailer. Yeah, it's cool and all, but there's just not much innovating in there. That's my problem. How many times can you keep doing the same thing before it gets old? Because that's what Sonic Superstars feels like. And I think that's pretty much me done explaining as to why I'm not that hyped for Sonic Superstars. Again, the game, no doubt, is going to be a good game. I can already tell by just looking at the game, but it just doesn't spark that same excitement that Sonic Frontiers did for 3D Monosonic. I know people are going to complain about this video because it's inevitable at this point. People always complain about negative things toward a Sonic game before release. But I know there are people out there who feel the exact same way as me because I know those people exist. So for those people out there, I got you, bro. Don't worry. And if you do feel the same way as me, is it for the reasons I've explained in this video? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed, pressing that join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace!